Yo, welcome back to the world of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. In this video, I'll be spending an additional 100 days isekai'd here. Also, if you haven't already watched the previous video, I definitely recommend you do. However, the goal of this video is to 1. Expand, upgrade and build upon my village. 2. Strengthen my villagers to ensure their safety. And finally 3. Craft Yams' Ice Blade. Think I have the ability to expand and keep my village safe? Because I think I can. So without further ado, let's begin. Day 100. Now there's a couple things I need to kind of clear up. So in the last 100 days, I could start flying to kill the Charybdis, which I thought was just part of the Demon Slayer, race. It's not. It was a glitch. I can no longer fly like that, I noticed. But I mean, I can still fly though, it's just not as efficient. I did move house, so you can see this isn't the same village as before because I didn't realize I'd be doing another 100 days, so I ended up moving myself. But it's a quite a cool place. There's a village nearby and a ravine, so it has a couple things we can work with here and there, which is pretty useful. Day 100 to 102, I started brainstorming what I could possibly do with my village, but I couldn't really come up with anything at this precise time. So I decided instead I'd go explore the surrounding area, so the village and the ravine. In the village there was nothing too great. I mean, there was a blacksmith and honestly that was it. It was not that great. I did not come back here very often. In the ravine, however, there was these hopotke grass, I think it's pronounced. It's probably wrong. But apparently they actually make the percentage healing potions, so I had no idea before, but luckily Leah told me and now I know. And funnily enough, I mean Leah's right. It definitely does make the potions, so I was 100% gonna do this this episode. Also, if you've forgotten how powerful I am, here's some dogs trying to kill me. I didn't even try to hurt them. My presence hurt them. Yeah, I'm still very powerful. Also, I was starting to fly around, just looking around, and there's another goblin village. So I thought we can bring a couple more goblins here to the village. That thought didn't really get come true, but it's fine. And of course, as always, my naming skills is second to none, of course. Instead of an O, I put a 0, and I called it an orc, and it's a goblin, as I'm not that great at naming things. Also, I'm very dumb. But we were attacked by so many serpents, and Zuruk didn't make it. But luckily, Zuruki did, so happy days. Also, I noticed that the body armor thing doesn't just do your arm like I thought it did, it does your entire body, which I thought was really cool. So I ended up just not wearing armor anymore, because if I needed armor, I'd just pop on the body armor. Although I came across a lizardmen tree cave or lizardmen settlement, I don't really know, but it was definitely underground. It was definitely very cool. There were so many lizardmen too. In my last playthrough, I think I only saw one. I saw so many here. Went through the belongings as a visitor does, and I realized that maybe these guys, would want to come to the village one day. But obviously, right now the village is not, up to scratch. So once it was bigger and better, I told myself I'd come back and I'd ask if they wanted to come join me. Headed home and hit the sheets. Day 103, there was just a spider on the wall, but thankfully, according to this, this overhang, everything was fine. I then started getting some wood just to expand the village because the walls took so much wood and cobblestone. I just needed it, and I did this for a very long time, but it definitely came in handy, so I have no regrets. I then called it a night. Though I did get Berserker though. I didn't get the recording, so again my bad, but I killed an outsider for this. I also decided to make Subscribe an Elder for, his heroics in the last 100 days. After a good looking around, I decided that I'd expand in this direction here, and then began just making the pillars. These pillars were pretty easy to make. I didn't go that far, which I kinda regretted later. But again, it was easy, it wasn't that bad, it just took a lot of wood, so deforestation was bound to happen. I then started getting some cobble because I needed the cobble for the cobble walls, and again, this took a while, but it's, needed and necessary. I then grabbed some more hopotke grass, still can't pronounce it, but there you go. I also had a mine shaft, but I left quite quickly because I'm trying to be really efficient here. See, the problem with this wall was that serpents could stick their massive long heads straight through the wall, which is really annoying, and it did end up costing a couple lives. Not too many because I was kind of quick, but it was nonetheless very, very annoying. Using the walls from the wall I just took down, I decided I'd put a perimeter outside my village to try and combat this serpent problem. It kind of worked, but not really, but it definitely did improve it to a somewhat extent. I then finished taking down the walls. And yeah, this spider thing really, really worked. Day 107 to 108, I decided I'd just take down all the massive wheat tents around the place to slowly replace them with proper houses. This took a long time, but it solved one problem and solved another. Honestly, it made no problems, because with the wheat, I could make tons of food. And you'll see why this is important later. With the shovel I just enchanted, I decided I'd make like a fountain kind of in the middle of the village, which is going to work as kind of like the town center, kind of, though it's a fountain, of course. And also, instead of using like an infinite water source, I instead used water manipulation, which allowed me to right-click the floor and just place water out of nowhere, which is incredibly useful. I then added like some depth in between, and that made a pretty realistic looking pond. So I went to bed and incidentally pissed myself. Day 108 to 110, I realized that I needed to expand, and that I did. It was looking pretty good, honestly. I quite liked it. Had a quick swim and hit the sheets once again. Day 111, I just smelted some stone really, and I kind of hopped off for the day. Though I woke up to a brand new update, which added new customization to goblins and added Yams' ice blade, which looked pretty difficult to craft, but it seemed doable. You needed an infused forging table, which I'd never crafted before, but again it looked somewhat simple to make. So I told myself I have a new task. I grabbed some food, and now goblins can heal themselves, which was so useful for me, because if they got hit, it was just like counting down to their death. So now they'd all be full health, and I could give them armor too. So of course, Elder Subscribe was pimped out with the best armor I could get. And using the wheat houses as I said before, I made tons of food and gave every single villager food. And with this infused forging table, there is so much you can do. Day 112 to 114, I went straight back into the mines, grabbing diamonds and trying to get magic crystals, which wouldn't work for some reason, but luckily I found out that if you use a normal diamond pickaxe, you can get the magic crystals. If it's enchanted, you can't. I also found a dungeon with just tons of spiders in it. It was pretty easy to kill, so I just ended up going home. Day 115 to 116, I just started to craft the infused forging table, and it was expensive, but it was relatively simple, I won't lie. After finishing the craft, I decided I'd place it outside. I then hit the sheets afterwards and got straight back to getting rid of these tents. And after making more food, gave it to more villagers. So this fountain, I decided to go with this like formation right here, and I was gonna make it like, at first, just like a thing to walk around, but then I upped the layer a bit, and now it's kind of like just some large fountain type of thing, which I thought was kind of cool. I then got some leaves for like decoration around the fountain a bit. I got, buttons, bone meal, and leaves. It looked really good in my opinion. And here's the first building. I don't know why I made this the first one, but I did. If you can't tell, it's like a ramen stand thing, which it turned out really well. So, good on YouTube tutorials, am I right? I put HUDs in there. He's the ramen man now. 117 to 123. I needed bamboo, and it's pretty far away, but luckily I can fly, so I found it quite quick, but not really. So I headed back and called it a night. Day 124 to 130, I placed the bamboo and got started on my new main building. I was thinking I was gonna make the village like Japanese kind of. I'm not very good at it, so it didn't look the greatest. I do apologize, but I tried my hardest and the effort was there. I moved all my stuff into the new building, which took a while because all the chests were like filled to the brim, but it was done eventually. I broke down the wheat for the house, and I had so much bread, it was incredible. But here it was. It looked okay. And my bed's up here if you didn't realize. No one could get to it apart from me. Day 131 to 137. The bamboo looked great around the fountain. I placed some slime statues by my house and made a path. It was looking pretty good, minus the house. I also got silk touch from one of these villagers and put it onto a pickaxe because I needed ice. I thought this was cool too. As I was about to set off, Goxel stopped in front of me just to, say his goodbyes, which I thought was pretty nice. Thanks, Goxel. It took a while, but I eventually came across like the ice spikes biome, which was pretty perfect for what I needed. So I got around like a stack and a bit of ice. Not like I needed that much, I needed 6, but I got it nonetheless and headed straight back. I also found this portal thing, which I did find in the last 100 days, but I heard it was broken, so I didn't explore it, but I tried to, and the nether is here, along with endstone. I don't know what this biome's supposed to be, because I don't recognize it whatsoever, and I didn't want to get lost either, so I decided I'd just leave. Day 138 to 139, I made the necessary ice, got the ender pearls, made them eyes of ender, and finally, the ice blade was made. It couldn't shoot ice or anything. I haven't seen much of Yamza, I won't lie, so I'm not sure what the sword does, but I mean, it looked cool. I mean, you can't deny that. Day 140 to 152, I just went off on just building. I wanted to really sell it with this Japanese style. I also made some of the wood, this purple wood, from the nether, so I guess it came in handy. Added paths and lights, and also I made this like Japanese gate, which looks really cool at the start, start of the village. I thought it was quite nice. I started making houses for all the goblins and whatnot, and even these were really expensive to make. Day 153 to 161, I made a couple more houses and added like this small pond to the corner of the town. It was quite nice. This village was coming along, I'd say. Day 162 to 164. I installed this mod to make like paper lanterns and whatnot, and oh my god, this added so much to it. I thought it was amazing. I enchanted my sword just to add a couple more damage points to it. Day 165 to 167, I actually found like a sakura tree biome, which is again another mod I installed because pink trees are my favorite trees. I was like, I need them for the village and they look amazing. Oh. I just wanted to like grab its nose like I did with my dog the last 100 days. I didn't mean to do this. This is not what I implied. Oh, okay. Alright then. But don't worry, there's more. Oh, doesn't want to... there's another... Oh, okay. Day 168 to 171, I managed to get back to the village and place all the trees, and it added so much to the village. Like, it started to look like fantasy. It was so cool. Placed some more paper lanterns, and I placed some sakura trees around the place just to add a couple more color to the town, and it was looking really good. Obviously, I'm not the greatest builder in the world. It's a mediocre build at best, I'm sure, to you guys, but to me, the village was coming along. I'd say it was great. Day 172 to 174, I am back. I decided to name all these lizards after people from my Discord, which is down below in the description. You can join if you'd like. And we had so many. Day 175 to 180, I changed into a nice little kimono and decided I'd finally name the village, which I decided to go with And Sumu, which is based off And, the goblin who died last 100 days, and Sumu meaning live, because And lives on with us. Day 181 to 185, I ended up getting another skill, which again, I don't need skills anymore, I'd say, but most of these skills weren't for me, they were for my villagers, so I got healer. And finally, I decided to make some potions. These were relatively simple to make. Well, they're not, but I luckily had every ingredient I needed, because if you remember from the first 100 days, that desert temple had an enchanted golden apple in it, and I never used it. And so it all came around. And finally, I had the 98% potion. I give that the like, to elder subscribed of course, and to the person who told me how to make it, Leo. Thanks, Leo. Day 186 plus, I'm done. I've made the village and I live in prosperity. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, it'd be great if you'd like or even subscribe. I had a lot of fun making this, so hopefully it wasn't too boring to watch. There was a lot of building, I do apologize. But anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you in a bit.